this is the part where we play the show intro. So let's do that.
Mid-Topic Podcast, all things Nintendo. Yeah!
Stop the music over and play. I think it's maybe
I'm down.
this one. I don't know either. I'm like trying to. I'll take it. I'll take the claps. That's not it either. There we go. There we go. Welcome to the weekend. This is your beginning to your weekend, guys. This is one of the most important times of the week where you find yourself saying, hey, I've made it. I've gone through a week of work. Now it's time to reward myself, sit back, enjoy, and just party at the Topic Podcast as we talk about our most favorite thing, video games. And pat yourself in the back and say, hey, you know what? I'm worth it. I deserve this. I'm here. And it doesn't matter what negativity came throughout the week. Guess what? It's time to be positive. It's time to rejoice. It's time to smile, right? To do all the things that make you happy. And we're here. But I'm not here by myself. No, I'm not. No, I am not. I'm here with the great Zach Hollywood Hendricks. What's up, Zach?
What up, Mike? What up, everybody? So glad to be here today. It is a beautiful Friday. 4th of July yesterday. Can't beat that.
It was, right?
US Day, baby. Or US Day. USA Day, baby.
USA. USA.
We abbreviated it. It's US Day now instead of 4th of July.
And I want to move over to the icon. Literally the icon. Like the
right.
icon. Paul Gale Negrick. How you doing, Paul?
Pretty good. Last night I was swimming in the pool, watching all the neighbors around me have a blast with their fireworks, and I just got to enjoy it without any of the fear of uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
It was just popping off all night long. I made a couple of meme videos because I could start timing them.
Mhm.
So I would wait for them to go, and then I would raise my hand, no, Krillin! You know? And I timed it so well where I'd go, no, Krillin! And then just,
Frieza.
you'll see it, Frieza! So it was pretty cool just chilling in the pool and watching fireworks from all around and just enjoying my neighbor's joy. So yeah, that was 4th of July. It was pretty sweet. And then since my birthday is on Sunday the 7th,
Nice.
I've been getting some free birthday meals from various places. Like you sign up for Red Robin and you get a free burger over there. You sign up from here and you get a free $25 gift card. Boom, there you get the free. So I've been having lots of free food this week. Lots of cheeseburgers and pizzas and desserts and desserts, dude.
Hold up. Where do I have to sign up to get that $25 gift card?
So that one is through the original restaurant I did it through was Claim Jumper, but they're a part of like a brand of I forgot the parent company, but it's Claim Jumper, Bubba Gump's, Bubba Gump's, which is a shrimp place based off of the movie from Forrest Gump. There's a few different things in there, but anyways, like when you sign up there, they give you $25 off of your meal every birthday, and there are some things that don't even cost $25, so you could walk out with like 3 free old entrees on your birthday, or like a nice big, well, not a big steak, but like a little steak or something. So it just depends where you go in that
free
network.
Steak is a big steak.
I know, right?
It's pretty good. And hold on, what's another one? Because from them I got a really good carrot cake. What's the place called? Oh, Stonefire Grill. They gave me a nice carrot cake from it. So I've just been redeeming all my birthday rewards.
You signed
That's
up
how
at
you
Cold
do
Stone yet?
Which one?
Cold Stone?
I do have a Cold Stone one.
Okay, because they usually give you a free scoop with one mix in.
Yeah, I should probably go there. Part of me thinks, you know what? if you really want to be economical, you sign up to like 20 different places or 24 places, but just do it every 2 weeks of the year as your birthday to different places. And then like you've got a free lunch or free dinner or free snack or dessert or meal every 2 weeks all year long. That would be the smartest way to do it. But, I just stick it to what's my birthday? It's July. And anyways, that's a lot of food talk, but that's how I'm doing. I'm doing this week.
Yeah, hello. Food is the source of I guess of life, of food, right?
And food is the source. Most of our food ate food first, so I'll agree with that.
Food is the source of life.
So yeah, I mean, it's awesome. 4th of July yesterday. Yeah, it was interesting. Yes, it was Florida, stormy weather everywhere. Because normally in the summer, you think that people come to Florida and they have like these amazing summers where the sun is shining. They're on the beach just getting suntan. Nope, it's very sunny and hot and humid in the morning, and it rains in the afternoon. And it's like it's not even that type of rain. It's like all thundery and dark and like lightning everywhere. And you can't be outside because you'll get struck by lightning. And wow. That's basically Florida summers for you, right? It's amazing. I'm not sure why people. Well, there's Disney, and then there's Universal, and then there's there's reasons. But yeah, it was. I think we heard all the fireworks, but because I guess people were in denial, they spent all that money on fireworks just to have it rain. It was still raining throughout the night, and we heard everything. Well, we saw nothing at all. But yeah, that's what 4th of July looks like in here in Florida. And other than that, it was a good 4th of July. I had a little barbecue. I'm not a barbecue expert. We bought one of those $20 barbecues because guess what? I always ruin them. I ruin all of them, so they're disposable. Just it's a one-time thing. So yeah, we did that, and I burnt a couple hot dogs. I burnt a couple of steaks. I'm not going to yours for my birthday redemption. I burnt my dad was like, that's supposed to be that color. It's hard.
I always like to joke that my mom burns ice.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, I can just scrape it up, and you'll find the flavors underneath. And so I had a lot of fun burning stuff out yesterday. It was fun. But
do
yeah,
you ever want to when people are trying to critique the burnt hot dogs or whatever, if you want to get a little scientific on them and tell them that's on purpose, the Maillard effect is the name of the crust that forms like on the outside when you sear something. And creates,
at this point, the crust outside was more like charcoal.
You just gotta tell them, no, it's just the Maillard effect. You guys just don't understand. You just gotta just stick to your guns.
Don't get me wrong. I'm an amazing cook. I've been cooking since I was 12 years old. Like food, but griller, I'm the worst griller in the world. I can say that. I'm horrible grilling anything. I will burn anything if it's grilled. So, well, yeah, I threw away the grill too because it was also burnt. But I had fun. It was pretty cool. All right, and we got some topics to talk about today. First, I want to go ahead and give some shout outs to our co-hosts that are currently not here with us today. One of them is in the chat. She's enjoying the chat enjoying the podcast in the chat, but she's also feeling under the weather. We got Joycey J in the chat. Hopefully you feel better. Have some tea or coffee, and we'll highlight your comments from here and now. So that way you can be part of the podcast still. And also from directly from Hyrule, we got Lily Hyrule also. She will try to join the podcast later on, but if she doesn't, well, again, we want to excuse her as well, and you'll see her in the following podcast. But here and the show must go on because we got super awesome topics to talk about today. We're going to talk about Zelda. We're going to talk about Nintendo Switch 2. We're going to talk about the Nintendo DS. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of other really cool things that we might see very soon, right? But the big question of the night is, what will make the Switch 2 the Switch 2, right? Because we already know there's a hybrid factor there, but what is it about the Switch 2 that will be special enough that it will convince you to get it, right? Besides the IPs, let's go ahead and table video games. And this is gonna be hard because forget about video games. What other than video games will make the Switch 2 the Switch 2? And you can't say, oh, the graphics. No, that doesn't count. We're gonna make it even harder. What about the Switch 2? So you guys can start thinking about that. We'll make the Switch 2 a good console. All right. Before that, we have our first topic of the day. We're gonna get right to it. Before this game part,
to the topic.
Go ahead.
I believe you had a sponsor listed, and we didn't shout out the sponsor last week. That you had, it's the same sponsor. So
sponsor? You mean like the member?
No, on our topics we have before our topics.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Podcast sponsor. It's a familiar name.
Let's go ahead and first shout out Mr. Roger. Roger here is our new member. He joined right away and it showed up on the cast. I want to go shout out to Roger. Thank you for joining the membership and for supporting the chat, guys. You know I'm really horrible at positioning super chats and positioning memberships and all that stuff. Just because I feel like I want to give you guys more than you give me. I'm very horrible at it. I'm like really bad at it. But if you do want to become a member, I really do appreciate it because you're supporting the channel, supporting my journey here as a full-time creator. Also, super chats become part of the conversation. So if we're talking about Zelda throughout the podcast, super chats become part of the conversation. So if you want to be part of the podcast for a little bit, you can super chat your question, or you can wait till the end where we have the big open and the Q&A that you guys can super chat and not super chat, but just send your question and we'll respond to it. But so yeah, we got those ways to support the channel. And that what you just said, you're right. We have this podcast. It is sponsored by none other than Indie Mania. Indie Mania. Paul, go ahead and talk to us a little bit about Indie Mania. What is Indie Mania and when is it taking place?
Indie Mania is going to be a 3-day awesome online digital event this September 12th, 13th, and 14th, where we are going to be featuring dozens of new, never before seen video games made by very talented developers all around the world, multiple states, multiple countries, and you're going to see some updates to titles you know about, some games that you've never seen before, and
you there? Did we lose Paul?
Some skits involved, and it's cool. Was that? It's going to be a really cool event. Mike's pulling up the site right now, indiemania.net. That's this September 12th, 13th, and 14th. It's coming up pretty soon. Just a little over 2 months away, actually.
Yeah, and then I can finally announce for the very first time, if you are a content creator, you can sign up to be a co-content creator. Not only will you get your website, your YouTube channel listed on the channel, which, by the way, our viewership to the website is growing by day. People are coming to the website a lot just to check out Indie Mania, and that way they see your channel as a co-sponsor. But you also are part of the Content Creator Initiative. What is that? That is that you get to experience the games that are shown maybe for the first time. They'll send you review codes, digital codes. You get to have access to the developers. We have developers already signed up for the Content Creator Initiative, and this will give you guys firsthand look of games, digital codes before the game comes out. That way you can create content for it, and you can choose what game you want to cover the best and which one call your attention the most. You want to share with your audience. If you are a content creator, you can join, and that will be one of the perks that we have for you, just to say thank you. Get you all the codes you want in order to create content, games for yourself, and so there you have it. Indie Mania. It says 12th, 14th, and 12th, from the 12th to the 14th of September, and it's coming up soon. Thank you, Indie Mania, for sponsoring this podcast.
Those guys are awesome.
All right, they're pretty cool. They're
pretty great.
You got something going on there.
This YouTube channel, Blender Guru, for he was like my intro into 3D modeling stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
And he has a website full of 3D modeling assets called Polygon, and he'd always start his YouTube videos. This video is sponsored by Polygon, and then he'd be like, somebody pointed out in the comments, it's like I'm just handing myself a wad of cash to
sponsor. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, speaking of, also you can join MikeOdyssey.net and get yourself a positive mug just like this one. It's sponsored by this one, so you might never give up. Or look at my beanie. My beanie is also, we have merch going on too as well. So now that we're sponsoring ourselves. All right, so moving on. Let me go ahead and change the music because this is the part of the music that we let's see here.
By the way, does everybody hear Mike, Zach, and I equally?
Check test 1 2 1 2. Yeah, I see in the comments they're saying I'm low.
Zach, your mic is low, but you both sound okay to me. But I want to make sure.
How about now?
Everyone sounds good to everyone.
Yeah, because I might have the master audio from the actual stream, so maybe now. Everybody test your mic check.
Check test 1 2 1 2. Check test 1 2 1 2. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
I'm here.
Only Zach is low. We need a coffee sponsor. Oh, we do need a coffee sponsor. All right, y'all go. Yeah,
all right. Joycey says we sound good. Thank you.
Okay.
But I think it was me. I had the actual master volume on my Rodecaster lowered. All right, so with that, let's go into our topics for today because we have a good show. We have a good show that we want to talk about. And guess what? So I over the week, guys, I like to look at patents. I like to look at trademarks. I like to look at Nintendo's updates. And I'm not the kind of say, hey, guess what? Everything is happening. No, not they're just movements that Nintendo does behind the scenes, right? They're just things, business, right? Regular day-to-day business. But not everything always means something, but some do, right? So it's always good to investigate. It's always good to kind of dig into everything because you never know. And just to give you a little bit of the track record, I've been able to pinpoint every edition for Nintendo just via patents. Hey, we just got an edition right now, right? And I mentioned that edition a couple of weeks ago on the podcast. I don't know if you guys remember. We're getting an edition Switch. We got an edition Zelda Switch. So I've been able to pinpoint every edition Switch via podcast, via patents, right? And so Nintendo, out of the blue, they went ahead and in all honesty, they actually registered about 30-something trademarks. Like literally, they went on a trademark extravaganza registering. Like they registered a whole bunch of dead ones that have been dead for a while. This includes games. This includes consoles, including GameCube. And so there's something going on behind the scenes. And so one of the ones that I brought up in a Twitter chat was Nintendo DS. And if I'm gonna just throw this to Paul so Paul can give you just a little historical fact behind Nintendo DS, since Paul is the numbers guy. Take it away, Paul.
On the sales side of DS, it's sitting at 154 million units, a little over 154 million. Software-wise, just a little under 1 billion pieces of software, which is Nintendo's best-selling platform ever. Nintendo Switch already blew past DS's software sales, and on hardware, it's creeping up very close. Nintendo is anticipating 154.82 million, so passing DS by 800,000 this March 31st, 2025. So it's on its way there.
So, I mean, I went ahead and tweeted that information along with because I'm interested in Zelda, along with 3 new Zelda trademarks that were issued. One of them with Toon Link. This is the second Toon Link Zelda trademark issued in a couple of months, right? They have another one, so I'm guessing they're doing one for merchandise, one for electronic purposes, and one for merchandise and products, and then an emblem that looks to be for Twilight Princess. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Let me go ahead and go over to that same tweet so you guys can kind of look at it and let me know what your thoughts are. Going down. Okay, we got it right there.
I can literally feel Lily Hyrule rushing to get here as quick as possible now that Zelda's been brought up.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, we're gonna talk about Zelda. We first thing, we love Zelda in this podcast, and we have no shortage of Zelda talk in this podcast. Trust me, we can literally get lost in the Zelda realm, and that'll be the entire podcast, right? So yeah, we have here. I just mentioned said DS could be coming to Nintendo NSO trademark, and 3 Zelda trademarks filed related to Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. So we have this one with Link from Twilight Princess. We have to Link again. This is the second one. I'm guessing one is for this one says clothing, namely polos, shirts, and sweatshirts, parkas, and jackets. So yeah, the other one was electronics, right? This one is for clothing. So there's 2 of them, right? Why would this reissue? Nintendo might make more clothing for that. Maybe there's a game coming. They want to promote it there, right? And then the other one is for DS, right? And so this kind of blew up the entire post because we got 76,000 views, 990 hearts, 191 retweets, and 50 comments on there. Not to mention other comments, but they're all basically DS emulator. How is this going to happen? Blah, blah, blah. So of course, this created a stir, right? Because right now, the S is the king of consoles for Nintendo, and Switch will eventually surpass it. That is just a given, right? But at the moment, as we're speaking, DS still has the crown, right? And that's 154 million units and 154 million people who purchased a Nintendo DS, right? And so this means a lot to 154 million people having Nintendo DS eventually come to Nintendo Switch. And I'm like, maybe these other trademarks and the other trademarks that Nintendo actually they issued. I think there's one of the outlets took my tweet and then they expanded on it. Not sure it was GameRat.com or somebody. They expanded on it, and then they also listed the entire list of all the trademarks that are video game themed, right? A lot of the games were on the DS as well. So that just begs the question, I firsthand, let me give my opinion on this, and then I'm going to throw it out to you guys. This is what I think about this. This is what I think. I think that we are getting another Nintendo Direct. I think Nintendo's not done with the Switch yet. Okay, we still have some more games well into 2025 that Nintendo's going to support the Switch with. And Shintaro Furukawa mentioned this himself. He said that the Switch will still be getting games well into 2025, right? Even after the Nintendo Switch 2 has been announced, right? And so we do have a Nintendo Direct in September. Nintendo has not geared away from their normal directs throughout the year. Maybe they just we did get a Direct, even if it was a partner showcase this September. We did get a Direct this June, and so we expect one as normal this September. And what we will see in this September, more games for Nintendo Switch, maybe some games for Nintendo Switch 2 as well, depending on whether we get that trailer reveal beforehand, right? And so what I believe here is that this is my personal speculation. I know there's some news outlets out there who are saying that I said that this is coming. No, this is my speculation. My personal speculation is that yes, Nintendo DS is coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Okay, not Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch 2. Now it can make it onto Nintendo Switch, just because I personally don't see NSO as a console generation thing. I see NSO as Nintendo's gaming streaming service or whatever, like as a separate thing. And I think that NSO will continue to be alive and well on Nintendo Switch for the foreseeable coming years, as well as Nintendo Switch 2. I do believe, because apparently, according, you guys remember that leak for Switch 2, apparently with the Joy-Cons, and that the Joy-Cons will be compatible. The Joy-Cons for Switch will be compatible with the Switch 2. And you guys remember that, right? When we spoke about that, those leaks. Then what's to say that those Switch 2 Joy-Cons are not compatible with the Switch in some way, right? Some features or whatever. But I think this is for Switch 2, just because we still don't have a microphone on the Switch that I know of, right? We don't have a microphone on the actual controllers and the Nintendo DS. I'm not even going into dual screen. There's many ways Nintendo can handle dual screen. That's not a big deal. I've seen so many comments about what do you think they'll do with dual screen? Well, side by side, up and down, switch between screens. There's so many ways that they can go with dual screen that they can. I'm talking about hardware wise because there's some games that require like a microphone. You can talk to it or you blow on it or whatever little features. But yeah, I think this is Nintendo getting ready because even maybe Legend of Zelda Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Oh man, I'm gonna go there. Maybe within that trailer that Nintendo will show for Switch 2, we actually see Wind Waker and Twilight Princess as part of the trailer, but in 4K resolution. Maybe with their maybe the games look so different with AI upscaling that maybe Twilight Princess resembles something like my
favorite 2011 tech demo.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. Maybe with AI.
You can't bring that up until Lily's here.
Well, Joyce and Lily can't verbally disdain and have disgust right now, so I'm saving Mike by bringing it up now.
And let me go ahead and clarify something. I like Twilight Princess. The tech demo was okay. It was cool. I like the visuals and stuff. One thing that I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Is Link's hat. It looks like he is it's part of his head. He's an alien with kind of like like Majin Buu. Like Majin Buu, how Majin Buu whenever his transformation, he has this big thing in his head like that.
Oh, you know what? You know what's ironic?
Yeah.
You wear a beanie pretty often. Link's hat is a long beanie.
Yeah.
It's like a Santa Claus hat.
Mine is short.
But not. So it's just a long beanie, and the reason why it's long is I don't know if you heard that last part, but that's why.
That makes sense to me.
It makes sense.
For those of you who are not watching and are just listening, I want to fill you guys in on a little bit of Mike Odyssey lore. I'm the guy now. I keep track of the lore of the meta. So last week, Lily was co-streaming on her channel, but I don't think she was actually able to watch it. Mike was talking. We were talking about the tech demo. Mike did not like how Link looks in the tech demo. He likes the blue from the new games better.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed.
Yeah, Joycey was not having any of it. Paul, for again those of you who are just listening, his camera's not up right now, and for whatever reason, when there's no camera, we get Sassy Paul.
Yeah, Sassy Paul. Sassy Paul.
We had Sassy Paul last week. Looks like we're gonna have Sassy Paul again this week. And then in our Discord during the week, Mike sent his favorite version of Link so far and made a comment about how he just doesn't really like the green thing on his head. And Lily, who had missed out on last week, was like, well, Mike, you do know he's always had that green hat, right? And I was like, oh, you've missed a whole conversation.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I think that
is our meta.
Listen, I like Link's hat in Link's Awakening, and I like it in Tears of the Kingdom. And I'm talking about the green outfit, and also I think it's just that trailer, that it looked like more like clay to me, like they added a big giant piece of clay to his back, and it's just like wobbling over like that, just like a wobbly thing, And so that's it. I mean, I love Zelda. I am a Zelda fan, by the way. You're not a real Zelda fan. You don't want.
Oh, that's also what you guys missed last week. Mike had to defend his Zelda fan honor.
My fanhood,
as the chat was bringing it into question.
My fanhood was attacked. Okay, and I had to step up for it.
Do people ever make a fan art for your shows, Mike? Because if not, you guys should. You should make fan art specifically of Link and make his hat grossly comically large and long. And tag Mike on X or Twitter or Twix in this fan art. The hat's going to be down to his feet.
I would dislike that. I would dislike that very much. but yeah, so this is a tweet that created the commotion. This is the tweet that you know, I saw how many people were reacting towards what I was saying before that was there could be a reason why all of these trademarks have come to pass, and Nintendo is going on a trademark frenzies because the trailer is going to be shown, and I think that just to appease some Zelda fans, that they actually made Twilight Princess look like that tech demo with the AI upscaling.
That'd be amazing.
And so it's going to be part of the trademark, and people on the trailer, people like, wait, what did I just see? Did they just show Twilight Princess with ray tracing and all this, you know? And so that's just maybe part of the reason why I'm speculating, I guess, but also the Nintendo DS, I think that that can also be part of the trailer. You know, they show the brand new because remember, NSO is part of it now. Nintendo Switch Online is part of it all now, right? It's part of Nintendo's brand, part of it, the marketing, and so with Switch 2, we could catch the 2.0 of NSO on their trailer, and maybe we could see Nintendo DS and GameCube also added there. So
did you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you mention, by the way? I don't know if you mentioned this earlier on the DS part, but DS will be having its 20th anniversary this November. 20th is a pretty significant number. I think nostalgia really hits in when something is like, I mean, it could be depending on how old you are, but like when you get to like that 15, 20 year part, I mean, nobody who has nostalgia from 20 years ago is a kid anymore. You know what I mean? You're at least like 24 years old, probably.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people out there, DS is their first system, and with it being such a high volume platform, 154 million on a 154 million selling Nintendo Switch, that could be a good time to, you know, have a lot of nostalgia driven social media posts. Do you remember when you did this? It could be a whole advertising campaign, all, you know, really that they put into it. They could make it a really big deal. Like, to put it into context, in 2005, NES was 20 years old. So imagine 2005, last year of GameCube, which wasn't as successful of a console as NES was. All of a sudden, Nintendo said, you know, we're releasing special GameCube collector's discs that are, you know, each disc is going to have 15 classic NES games. We're doing a series of 4 discs coming out, and it's going to have 64 different games on it of your classic NES era. Oh, wow. That didn't exist until later in Wii, and in some capacity, thanks to, you know, WiiWare and the Wii Shop channel. But DS was a much bigger deal. It was kind of a weird thing. Like growing up as a kid, for me, NES was my first Nintendo platform. But for more people, DS was probably their first, just because of just how many people bought it over, you know, 70 million NES owners. Even if some of them might have already been seasoned gamers, there's a good chance that many people still had DS as their first. So I think that, like, DS coming into play in some kind of NSO capacity on Nintendo Switch 2, maybe just splitting the screen, going sideways, long ways. Hey, maybe we found a way how you could use your old Nintendo Switches in a portable mode on the couch while your Nintendo Switch 2 is docked into the TV, and there it goes. Or we're allowing not to have DS games on like your iPhone or Android, but you could use your iPhone or Android as a secondary screen as long as you have the Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch 2 in the dock. That way, even more people aren't without the access to that dual screen feature. You have an old Switch? Awesome. There is your portable lower screen handheld controller, and your upper screen is there. You don't have it? We've partnered up with allowing a DS app to exist on iPhone and Android, but you have to have a Nintendo Switch 2 or Switch to use it. But you could just use that system as a lower screen and throw it in a Backbone or something like that, just so that it's not without the functionality for any user. I don't know. It's pretty dope. This with the patents and stuff like that could totally be something Nintendo's doing. 20th anniversary, you throw it all in there.
Well, and that was the perfect. Oh, sorry, Mike, you go.
Oh, so before I pass it out to Zach, there is one more thing that I wanted to mention. DS related. Nintendo, and this is gonna sound crazy, but Paul, I did mention the 20-year anniversary in the video.
You did say that. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, not today, not in the podcast, but in the video that I made. In the video that I made. And so I'm gonna look it up right now while I give this to Zach. But Nintendo could also, for the holiday season, release the first ever mobile classic edition Nintendo DS with pre-installed games, including Zelda games, New Super Mario Brothers games, and more. And it's something that nobody's ever considered, but having a like they have the NES Classic, they had the Super Nintendo Classic. A Nintendo DS Classic doesn't sound too much out of the realm of the possibility, and it will hit nostalgia like insane for all those 154 million people who got the DS the very first time. You know what I mean? So that is another thing. Why am I saying this? Because just recently I saw a patent. Remember how I told you I have that edition Switch? I saw a patent just like that. Okay. Right now Zach is showing us the Game & Watch's edition, Mario edition, and what's the other one?
They're the same. This is just the box, and then the actual device.
Okay. So Nintendo could actually release this holiday season. And remember, we are in the middle of transition. Maybe they know they're not going to sell that many Nintendo Switches, but gosh, who will buy a Nintendo DS Classic Edition? I'm gonna go ahead and shoot it to Zach while I look at that patent, because that was a recent patent that I found. I didn't cover it because I didn't think much of it till this very moment. It hit me. I'm like, why would Nintendo do a patent for Nintendo DS? But go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, that's a good thought. I hadn't thought about that either. That would be pretty cool. A preloaded DS Classic. That would be pretty awesome. But yeah, bringing it full circle to what I think the Nintendo Switch 2, what the difference is besides graphics and whatnot. I know we talked before, Paul was talking about using your Switch as a portable controller, essentially, for your Switch 2 and being able to use it as the bottom screen for the DS, which I agree with. If you remember, we had, and I think I talked about this on the podcast before, for Smash Ultimate, you could use your DS as a controller for Smash Ultimate on the Wii U.
Yeah.
And so, Nintendo has done that type of thing already. But is it really a Nintendo podcast if you don't have some sort of outlandish claim / speculation?
It's not.
I'd say no. So let's go crazy with it. We've talked before about the name of this new console. Mike was very partial to the Nintendo Switch Swivel, or the Nintendo Swivel, if you all remember. bringing it back to that patent. But with Nintendo Switch Online being a big part of Nintendo's ecosystem and something that we all agree is going to stay for these new consoles, NSO, it'd be weird if their new system was like the Nintendo Power Console and then like it has Nintendo Switch Online. So, Switch 2? Nah. How about the Nintendo Switch DS? Because we've talked about the portable screens for it that you can take off and whatnot. We've talked about these secondary screens for it. We've talked about how the DS was Nintendo's most successful console ever for such a long time. Best of both worlds, Nintendo Switch DS. The perks for this console that are going to set it apart are going to be these secondary controllers with a screen that you can buy, or using your old Nintendo Switch or a Nintendo Switch Lite as another controller, and you're going to see a return of the 2-screen system. One screen on your TV, one screen in your hand. Nintendo Switch DS edition. That is
I'm not gonna. It sounds crazy, but I'm not gonna call it crazy because I think that's very possible. I mean, nobody knows what Nintendo has in the store, but that is a big possibility, and that's a really good way to address bringing in all of the handheld consoles that require a dual screen. You know, including the Nintendo Wii U, which actually kind of in a way also uses dual screen. But yeah, I mean that'll be crazy. Do you think they might sell the additional screen as an add-on, like Nintendo's money hungry, so I'm pretty sure they will.
I could see them doing that. But to go more realistic with my expectations, I still do believe I think the system's probably going to be the Nintendo Switch 2 or something like that. But then with Nintendo's weird naming conventions, it could just be the new Nintendo Switch. But I still believe we are going to be able to use Nintendo Switch consoles as a secondary controller. But other things that I think is an improved Wi-Fi chip with 5-band gigahertz Wi-Fi, so that way it can have a more stable connection. Having some sort of Ethernet port built in, or at least adapter built into the console, I could see that as well, not just into the dock. And let's see, I think Street Pass would be the other thing that I'll say. I think Street Pass is coming back, but it's coming to the new Switch console. Those are my definitive lists of what I think are going to set this console apart from the first one, apart from the higher processing power and whatnot.
Interesting.
Nintendo Life just put out a good hour, 20-minute documentary about carrying their DS with them for a year to see how many Street Passes they could get. So that's a really good video. I've watched the whole thing, but that came out a week ago. But yeah, feel free to check that out in your spare time this week if you would like.
Yeah, what do you think, Paul?
All sorts of good ideas. I mean,
I found
Nintendo for something that Nintendo doesn't know for sure, I guess, how big is it going to be or how much need is there. They make it a Nintendo Switch Online exclusive purchase. Like, you can't just walk into a store and buy the NES or SNES or N64 or Sega Genesis wireless controllers to use on your Nintendo Switch. You have to be a Nintendo Switch Online member to do that. That way they can see how many members are here, how many are signing up. They make a certain amount to go with their prediction or expectation, but that's how they could kind of generate that sort of thing. So for the DS, I mean, if it is connected to, the NSO app, that would be one more thing. Hey, we're actually re-releasing a simplified version of the actual DS Lite model or whatever kind of most preferred model they have that you all know and love. No, it doesn't accept cartridges because they have to mitigate some kind of cost in some manner, but this is just to work as a shell to play your games tethered to your Nintendo Switch. And you could play in portable mode as long as you're within a Bluetooth range. These DS games on the couch or whatever, within the confines of your Wi-Fi, something like that. But if you want to play it on the big screen, that top screen could be that. Like, that's a good thing. The Nintendo Switch, thinking of different words, Nintendo Switch Expand, Nintendo Switch, it goes back to that little word attach when we saw attach, and maybe it's different things that attach to this system that expand on it, that you could attach the Joy-Cons and make the Nintendo Switch 2 go in vertical mode. And maybe in vertical mode, now you're playing things going, up and down, portrait, not landscape. That could be a satisfactory means of doing the DS games. Or you're attaching this device to your VR headset. So it is in that means attached. Or the new peripherals that you put on, it attaches to that. Like, I don't know, like attach. I like Nintendo Switch 2 just because, not because it's boring, but because it works. And I want Nintendo to build in every successful way off of what they've done 7 years. And the most boring way in this case is the safest way, and just due to don't confuse the audience, don't get fancy. You've tried it in the past. It's not going to be bad because it's just too powerful of a system. It is just too good right now, but it could be better. But I'm not against a weird name. I'm going to buy it no matter what. I don't care. I just want for them, I want them to succeed. So what's the safest route? Maybe the safest route isn't to. Maybe the safest route is something creative, and I don't know,
the
man.
Nintendo Switch Snap, because all these other things in addition snap onto it.
I actually like Snap better than yeah.
It's not just the Joy-Cons, it's this, it's that, it's the VR thing. They show them clicking it in. You get the snap sound, they carry that branding on.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
I jokingly always said, well, I don't know always, but for a good few years, I came up with like, this is a very Nintendo thing to do, and that's the Nintendo Switch 2. TOO 2. Because it sounds like a Nintendo thing, like a clever thing, and 2, TOO, implies also. So it does this and this. It also does this. It also does this. Nintendo Switch TOO plays on the fact that it's a sequel in the way it sounds too, but it's very Nintendo weird thing, TOO also.
Listen, Paul, that's horrible. I'm kidding. No,
I don't know, man. It's a Nintendo thing to do.
It is. I agree, because they did the Wii with the two eyes. Right, I see it.
Yes,
but I think we just hit I think we just hit upon the Nintendo the next system's name, and might not be Switch. It could be the Nintendo Snap, because the Joy-Cons connect. They snap magnetically to the actual Switch. They don't click or like switch anymore. They snap to the side.
It's an S. It still works with NSO.
Yeah, Nintendo Snap Online, and
Nintendo Snap. It's a close enough name, but it's different than Switch. It still has S.
Yeah,
you can still snap your fingers.
You can
still have a cool animation. You can have these.
Yeah. It goes with what you said.
Logo.
Like, if they have any additional things that snap to it to make it a 3DS, snap an additional snap on this. And I think the Snap is actually better than, in a way, it doesn't confuse. It's still very highly brandable, and it feels good. I don't like.
Snap is a clean word. Yeah, no, yeah. Snap is it's snappy. It's fast. It's quick. It's what they've been using in their marketing the whole time. But now, instead of snapping with one hand, they would snap with two simultaneously. So they could really evolve on their marketing. Their whole, you got to think of so many things: logo, marketing, catchphrase, slogan, branding on the outline of the box, a fast, clean, slick word that could animate well.
Do you guys remember the one I came up with a few months ago on the podcast?
What was that one?
The Sweech.
So
you got the we W-I-I, but then it's the eyes make the two.
Two eyes.
It's the Sweech.
I cannot stand attach. I know that hopefully there. I mean, I hope it's actually snap rather than attach. I don't know. But I also I'm in the minority, but I also don't want the Switch branding to continue. I want something new. Separate, even if it has the same form factor, even if it looks like a Switch, I would rather they call them the Nintendo Snap, which is just 2 words, NS, Nintendo Snap, NSO, Nintendo Snap Online. Because if they do the Nintendo Switch Snap, what is it? Nintendo SSO, Nintendo SSO. You know what I mean? It's a little longer, but doesn't quite get there. But I feel like I'm gonna jump on the Snap train, and I'm gonna stay there for the rest of until Nintendo reveals it. But here is the patent for this is the patent for the Nintendo DS that I found here. Like, what the heck are they issuing this for here, right? And as you can see here, you can add some cartridges, I guess, onto it on this one. But see, it has a little slot there for the cartridge in the middle, and so this is basically it. I mean, I wonder what unless they with the stylus and everything, unless they just issue a 20-year anniversary edition, right? They could, it's a system that people love. Look at this. Is this a different design? Have you guys seen before?
Yeah, there's hard lines as if those are separate things. And that's not a DS cartridge, that's a SD card.
It looks like a Switch cartridge, kind of like a little DS card, yeah. So, this is a something that they could do. Because we have this one that looks like an actual DS, but this one I'm not sure why this one has a different design on it. Looks a lot different. This is not a Nintendo DS, is it?
No, bro. Look that's an SD card because you have the corner piece that's chipped.
I see it. Yeah, and this looks like it actually detaches from the sides, and then we have if we take away the side, it looks like an actual the other DS, the main DS, right? The DS is more like little squared.
Mm-hmm. Switch Snap, baby.
Yeah, this is a link anchor. So so we have the stylus. We have download back previous page, go to next page, home screen. This is all basically if you're listening, guys, in the podcast.
UI.
Yeah, we're talking about the UI here. But then this has an additional model that I didn't see before. It doesn't look like a DS. It looks like it's weird. It looks like the actual DS, which is square in the middle, but then it has 2 other.
It looks like a Game Boy Advance SP, the clamshell one.
Yeah, exactly. The SP with the yeah.
But like a DS version.
I've been thinking about a Nintendo Switch Micro for a long time as a cheaper alternative to the Nintendo Switch Lite. That would be like a clamshell Nintendo Switch Lite, a little bit smaller screen, but has either a top part that closes down to protect it, or 2 screens, but like LCD, not the highest quality, but that it would be just another version of the base Nintendo Switch that Nintendo could sell. 1 screen or 2, but the 2 screen thought would kind of blend into this idea well. However, you do need more buttons than the 2. But yeah, these patents and stuff like that, they gotta hold some meaning.
They exist for a reason. Nintendo, this wasn't free for them to make. And again, that's not saying they're going to come to pass, but there's something that Nintendo, it shows us what was on their mind, or right. I forget how you put it, Mike, but you always, it's an indicator of
not everything They come up with way more than we see. They patent more than comes out, but when you go down the totem pole of things that they think of, things that they patent, things that come out, some of those things, come too. And it's important to look at these.
Yeah,
you never know.
Oh,
I personally believe that no patent is a waste of time. Why? Because every patent has certain features within them that they might take for their final product. So every patent tells a piece of the story, not the entire product. They're never gonna just issue a patent for an unreleased product that is fully immersed and realized, ready to market or to manufacture. Every patent just tells a piece of the story. Maybe they like these features from this, and they'll just patent that and then release it later on. But this one is very interesting. It's actually fairly brand new. This one is from September of 2019, 2023, last year. And so it's very interesting, that Nintendo in 2023 they filed it in August 2021, and then it was granted in 2023 that they might do this. There's I don't know, there could be reasons why they do this. This could be so they could continue to protect the actual system itself. Maybe because it's also coming to NSO, or maybe because they are going to release an edition, right? But then again, this is a newer patent after the DS has been out, and now we see something new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe within this patent, there is some type of feature or technology they really want to protect for Switch 2 that has nothing to do with the DS, right? It could be something like this right here, the snapping part here, right? It could be something with the placement of a stylus. Maybe we'll have another stylus for the Switch 2. Who knows? This right here also is you like you mentioned like a DS, like an SD card right down the middle. It's also like an indicator. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
I think a good way to put it is every single thing that Nintendo has ever released has been patented first.
Yeah.
Every single patent that Nintendo has ever done has been an idea that they talked about and moved forward at least some amount at first.
Yeah.
Not every idea becomes a patent, and not every patent becomes a product, but every product was a patent at some point.
Yeah, and if you see here the internals, it does go with 3D graphics, and then it also has 2D.
I see two different graphics engines in
Yeah.
this too. I see Graphics Engine A,
Uh-huh.
Graphics
Oh my
Engine
gosh.
B.
You know what's cool?
Mhm.
What if it's just a straight up
Controller.
another model of the DS, so Nintendo could sell like 6 million and be like, we beat PS2.
Yeah.
That's it. It's nothing else. It's just another Nintendo DS. Does it play Switch games? No. Does it play 3DS games? No. It's just another model of the DS that they happen to release quite a few years after the DSi. And yeah, it's just we're gonna not just have like the first place system with Switch,
Yeah.
first and second, because Nintendo Switch and Nintendo DS are gonna claim the top two.
Look, it has an ARM Core 9 here, chip, and then another one here. So there's a lot here. That's
Wireless communication on the right, number 722.
Mm-hmm.
Joy CJ, that's the level of petty I aspire to be. I just saw that. Exactly.
Nitro game card.
Nitro game card, 4 gigabytes. That's pretty big to be a DS game. That's pretty big to be a DS game. Max 4 gigabytes. Well, there's not. I don't know. We might have just come across something different here today on the podcast. That's completely brand new from everything. This looks like a little controller here. Digital.
Yeah, I was about to say that looks like a. Hey, what if that's a Joy-Con with an extra button?
It could be
because there's the D-pad and then there's 2 buttons instead of just one. And from that one Switch leak from MOBA, and also I broke one. We said there would be an extra button that wasn't the home button on these controllers.
Yeah, I mean, could be. This is brand new information. I'm probably gonna make a video about this tomorrow because all this is new. You know, I'm pretty sure, and you guys can confirm the DS did not have a max capacity per game of 4 gigabytes. Right? Like the ROMs are not that big. Upper, lower. This is very interesting.
Very cool.
Yeah, very interesting.
Well, we got to change the title of this
right.
podcast.
Yeah, and we'll see. We'll see what Nintendo does.
Switch to. Forget about that. Tell us more about the new DS.
Yeah, I maybe Nintendo's like, you know what? Let's we know that the Switch will eventually pass PS2 because it'll continue to sell for at least 1 or 2 years more. How about we get the DS to, like Paul said, to outsell the PS2 just to show, just to, you know, because the Sony president, like, oh no, we sold extra more. We actually sold 160 million. Well, that's what he said, right?
Yeah, we found some under the sofas and we sold them.
And then like, oh, really? Okay, all right. So you know what? Let's go ahead and issue another DS here. But yeah, man, that'll be insane. That'd be crazy. Yeah. Well, you guys, you heard it here first, here at the Nintendo Podcast, where we accidentally discover stuff. You know, it's a thing. So have you all guys spoke about the possibility of DS coming to NSO, what that means for you, for fans?
I gotta say, Mike, we've been talking about I said earlier, is it a Nintendo podcast without the outlandish claims?
Yeah.
I think we got it backwards.
Yeah.
DS isn't coming to NSO. NSO's coming to the DS.
Can you imagine that? That could be that extra system that Paul was talking about that Nintendo might make, like a portable kind of, you know, that is compatible with Switch games, compatible with DS games.
Yeah. I see a lot of people, you know, say that even though Nintendo Switch has become their favorite system ever, and they do view it as a home console and a portable, it's not the same type of portable as literally I have it in my pocket with me at all times. But what if there was a Nintendo Switch that was like, you know what, it is a cheaper end. It is this DS model version of it. And it has just access to like basically all the indie games out there. Mm-hmm. It won't run your full Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and Super Mario Odyssey. It's a simpler processor. It'll take, maybe it would take, you know, well, you know, at this point, maybe, I mean, Nintendo Switch is older tech, so it might, I was just thinking like for a moment, maybe it doesn't take, you know, Nintendo Switch cartridges. It just takes DS cartridges and stuff like that. But like to account for DS and Game Boy Advance and have different slots for Game Boy, it might be a little bit too much, but maybe it is a, you know, a little bit of an underpowered system that, yeah, it's like your indie machine or your games under a certain gigabyte machine, or maybe that splits it too much. Something's happening. At least something's possible. Some things are always possible. But one of these ideas that the three of us spat out today is bound to be pretty close. It would be amazing if it actually is the Nintendo Snap or something like that. If that was it,
I would ride that for so long. I'd be like,
we would
I'm
rewind,
the first person to come up with the Switch 2's name.
Rewind to this stream, clip that, wait for Nintendo to reveal it, and be like, hey, check it out, July 5th, 2024.
Can I tell you why? The reason why that I am 100% sure that it's not going to be Switch 2? Because that's the internal name they're using to refer to the next-gen system. They're talking about it internally as a Switch 2. So they're talking about it in a way that tells you, oh, it's a Switch-like system. This is called the Switch 2 when we refer to it. You know, and it's already a generalized game. Everybody refers to it as Switch 2. It's a comfortable way to talk about the new system. So that's why I'm like, you know what? Maybe they're not going to continue with that branding, because why would they internally also refer to it as a Switch 2? This comes from Midori, by the way. Midori is like, retired, but the record is impeccable. All right, and like real inside information, and so they refer to it as Switch 2. That itself just confirms to me, it's not gonna be called Switch 2. Just because they talk about it internally, and that's how they refer to it.
All I really know is thousands of years from now, archaeologists are going to be digging up our society, and they're going to be trying to find what happened to all of the Xbox 2 through 359s.
That's true. Because there's an Xbox One and an Xbox 360.
This is thousands of years in here. Where did it all go?
I'm telling you. And then they're going to be looking for we have Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X. So what happened to the rest of the alphabet?
Where's A through R?
Where is it? That name the name convention for Xbox has been all over the place. Just like, I mean, at least Nintendo kind of plays on the gimmick, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. Nobody can tell me that, Nintendo can play on the Switch because Nintendo Switch is successful. So was the Wii. And that's why they said they call it Wii U. And look what happened. So there's it doesn't go together. Mm-hmm. Any last words on this topic before we move to the next one?
Only thing, this is like 20% serious, but when it's Nintendo, like, you just never know what they're gonna do. Now that Nintendo is getting into more media production besides games, and they're getting into theme parks and other things as well that we don't even know about yet. Who's to say they don't start the Switch is just the overall name for their game console lineup from now on. And then their movie stuff is something else, and so who's to say that instead of being like, oh, you're playing your Nintendo Switch, it's like, oh, you're playing your Switch Snap, oh, you're playing your Switch DS XL too, like, who knows? No, that's all I got.
Switch 60, Nintendo Switch 64.
All right, so with that, we'll jump on to our next topic. It does have to do with Switch 2. I want to go over real quick some latest news regarding Nintendo's future, right? Because there is, I actually had the video done, did not release it, probably release it tomorrow. It has to do with AI, and in an interview, they did go over for Nintendo's comments on AI, and they had some very interesting things to say about AI, right? Let me go ahead and just get that article here really fast here. So let's see here. Okay, Nintendo made recently a statement about their stance on AI. They acknowledge that generative AI, which is a type of AI, can create content, can be used in creative ways. However, they also recognize that it may raise issues with intellectual property rights. And so for those of you who don't understand why this could be raised issues, because AI hasn't come to a point. It hasn't come to a point where it creates something from thin air. It samples from here and there, and it creates an image based on what it finds on the internet, right? It can look like an image that is completely made out of thin air, but everything it does is sampled. It's not yet to the point where it just creates, for creation's sake, original work. And so that's why Nintendo says, it works for certain areas in development, right? And it has helped, but it has not come to a point where you could say that everything it has created is original. And so that's Nintendo's stance on it. For everyone who is really crazy about AI in a way that, no, I don't want AI. Did you know that AI has been with us since NES, right? So NEI is nothing. AI is nothing but program code to code that was programmed to react to a certain thing once certain actions are committed. For example, you play Mario, right? Mario won World 1. You're walking with Mario, there's a Goomba coming. It's moving on its own, right? And it's coming towards you. That's AI. Everything that's programmed is artificial intelligence. It's like this, it's programmed to do something, to act a certain way, and the thing with today is that because we are now in the future, it's more advanced than it's ever been. And so now you can write more program into it and make it smarter and interact in different ways. Like, for example, like Siri. You can Siri's not that smart, but you can talk about, you can ask it a question, it'll recognize your voice. It's a combination of things that has made AI more advanced, right? Like voice recognition, face recognition, and other little details here. But AI has been part of gaming for such a long time, ever since the NES, and through NPCs. We can see it like in Tears of the Kingdom. NPCs are more talkative, they're more expressive. That's AI also. That's controlled AI. And can mankind create an AI that becomes sentient? Yeah, I do believe so. It can. Dangerous, but it can. I don't think it's impossible. Maybe we're not anytime soon, but it's what it is. It's AI. So on this very short topic, before we move on, guys, what are your thoughts and processes on AI? Nintendo knows AI. They think, okay, so to create terrain, right?
Can you highlight Joycey's comment when you're done?
Yeah, what do I hear? It says here, with too much AI, Switch plays you. You're right. So Nintendo knows AI, right? For example, like there's this engine that is out there that most games are built on. It's called Unreal Engine, right? We have Unity also, and for the most part in Unreal Engine, which by the way I'm learning right now, I'm actually learning how to make games there. It uses AI to create terrains, right? So it's create world, and then you can build your game on top of that world. You can kind of morph that world or create whatever, but it uses AI to generate the world and to even generate NPCs for you, right? So it can be beneficial when used in a way that doesn't really say, yeah, can you create me a character that is like this, like that? Because it's going to sample from other characters. But to create generic things that could actually shorten your development time, that's actually a good thing. So what do you guys think? Paul?
I don't think that Nintendo is going to abuse it in a way for the sake of, let's just use it to make it easier for ourselves or take the lazy way out, because they've always been at such a valued, let me rephrase it. They've always valued being pioneers in the industry, their own individual artistic expression, and having long-standing people work within the company like Eiji Aonuma, Shigeru Miyamoto, Koji Kondo, who's most known for Mario and Zelda music on the last one, in case anyone wasn't familiar with the name. Tezuka-san, there's a lot of people that have been there for a long time, bringing their own original creativity. So I don't think Nintendo is just going to be like, let's just plug into AI cool looking platforming action character in a new original world. There's our new character, and let's set this AI tool to work. You know what? Fun pop rocky music that teens and young adults would like. Compose a song, and bloop, and AI is just going to have a nice audio kind of tune that goes along with this cool character. Like, they're not going to abuse it like that. But on the flip side, Nintendo also has always been at the forefront of technology, into 3D with polygons and into expansion chipsets for the SNES, with a Super FX chip. Nintendo 64 having 4 megabyte expansion pack, rumble technology, analog stick technology. Some things are a little bit later in, like going HD with HDMI cords and producing a 720p image, or actually using DVDs, which actually they still have not ever used a straight up DVD in their system. GameCube was a proprietary mini disc. Wii U uses proprietary discs. Wii was different than a standard DVD player. So they're different in some ways. So I think they will use it, but kind of like they said, use it carefully. Use it to enhance the games, not to disrespect their creativity. I mean, look at it like this. If Nintendo was going to go full on AI, they wouldn't be actively building a whole other Nintendo building now that's going to open up a couple of years across the street from their existing Kyoto office that will house several hundred new staff. Clearly, they want people working for their company.
Yeah.
But could they use AI to say, you know what, we're creating a world, we're putting in these blades of grass. We use existing tricks and textures to draw more grass than any one individual has to draw, because that's a thing. You know, we're changing it up, but we're going to use the assistance of AI and to increase the foliage depth and have the wind hit it a little bit differently, because it's going to save some time for the animators. The animators could get the job done initially, but the AI could go along the way and do more. We're not going to just say, all right, we don't need anybody to go, it's me, Mario, hello. And we're just going to say, use existing audio clips of Mario and voice record yourself from now on, and come up with new characters that are similar that would fit this world of Mario and Daisy and Luigi and Peach. I don't think so, but, you know, could there come a time where there is an AI voice or a chirp or a little clash of a musical sound or a sword clanging that isn't, you know, developed by a keyboard by somebody? Possibly. Then you get into a whole thing of like, what about artist integrity and this and that? I think if it's used as a supplemental thing and not as the main thing, then you still have the individual creativity, but you're also using tech to further advance, which kind of everybody does. You know what I mean? In every profession, if you're a bodybuilder and someone says like, hey, here's some protein that you could consume, and the protein is only this much cost that you don't have to grill a whole chicken, well, I'm going to use that protein. You know, here's a sleep mattress that you could use that get better sleep at night, so you wake up more refreshed. So when you go to your job and you're a doctor and you got to do, you know, open heart surgery, your hands are more steady because you got a better sleep. You take whatever is out there that is beneficial to your job and you make it. I can't see well. Well, here's what we called glasses. Is glasses cheating? No, glasses is what you use to improve your job, to see, to read, to instruct. So I think that they will use it, like they said, in some capacity, but wisely so, because maybe partially because out of the respect from their audience, but more maybe from the respect from themselves, because as a Japanese traditional company and the way they've done it for so long, they really are these wizards, and they're these wizards that exist because of the human mind, but they're also a tech company. So like I said, so I'm kind of repeating myself 2 or 3 times over. I feel like using different analogies to come up with the same solution, but that's where I am on using AI going forward. And I don't think it's too bad. Maybe some would say, you know what, that's way too much for me. Maybe some would say, dude, not enough, go all in. But what I'm saying seems to be kind of like a happy medium ground, and not too much that not too many people, I would think, would say that's horrible. But that's just me too.
Yeah. I mean, for minor assets for the game, instead of creating the actual game, like characters, storylines, and you know, environments, very minor assets. I think it's a good thing. What do you think, Zach?
You know, I think it's so interesting because we hear the word AI, and I feel like at this point, it's become this all-encompassing thing in the minds of an audience and consumers. And not just has it become this all-encompassing thing, but it's also a buzzword now. So these companies want to say AI whenever they can, even though, like we've talked about, AI has been around forever in varying capacities. But you didn't hear, when Snapchat first went public, what, 2013 or whenever that was, they weren't dropping the word AI as a buzzword, even though every single filter that tracks and follows your face uses an AI program to figure out, this is eyes, this is nose, this is a mouth, this is what we need to do. And so I feel like generally when people see, Nintendo and AI, they immediately jump to generative AI and not, AI as a whole. We don't necessarily know what Nintendo's talking about when they're talking about looking into AI further. We can extrapolate a little bit based on their statement and talking about artistic integrity and whatnot, that it does seem like a little bit of this is generative AI. And so I think what's interesting there, I'm not the most tech savvy when it comes to actually doing programming and whatnot, but I believe currently in the programming world, they're calling traditional coding and dynamic coding. And dynamic coding is what covers AI. Yeah. And so I recently was working an AI conference. So it wasn't just an AI conference. It was a consumer, like fair trade practices and whatnot, and Monopoly Buster thing. And there was AI was a huge, the entire second day was all about AI, and members of the FTC were there and they were talking, and they said something really interesting. They liked to describe it as a predictor. It's not necessarily creating something, it's predicting something.
I see.
And so, I know this is such a hot button issue for so many people, and I'm not trying to give like a non-answer, toeing the line. Well, it can be this, it can be that. But I also understand it is nuanced and there is depth. And, they're like, well, AI can't make anything that it's never seen before. It's like, okay, can you? No, we can't. Every single thing we create comes from what we've taken in some way or another. And I'm not smart enough in this field to try and figure out what's fair, what's not fair. And I also, it's nice to see Nintendo in their statement saying they're going to be mindful. But I also know companies care about money first and most. And so I kind of just have no opinion. I'm kind of just like, they're going to do something. I don't know what it's going to be. And I don't know if I'll agree with it or disagree with it until they do it. And then even then, I might not know if I agree or disagree. But, I can see it being really, really, really useful for optimization and optimizing things. I can see it being really, really, really useful for more math-based stuff than anything. Lily! All right, I'm going to drop off my AI.
We're talking about AI.
It's a bunch of jargon, whatever. So I'm just gonna jump off of it at this point, so we can. Lily.
Yeah. So to get Lily's input on this. By the way, welcome, Lily. Thank you for coming.
I made it.
Yeah, you made it.
I was driving like crazy in the highway.
Be safe.
Yeah, no. I'm just kidding. I'm exaggerating a bit, only a little.
Little bit only.
Yeah. So basically, what we're talking about is Nintendo's comments on AI, and basically how they spoke about, not negatively about it, because there's certain ways they can use it, as long as it doesn't really infringe on intellectual property. Just because AI right now to a point, if you ask it to create a character, it's going to sample from the internet and kind of create its own character, maybe using other assets that don't belong to you. And so for little things in there, AI is positive, is a positive thing. So the real question is, like, Paul and Zach were just giving their opinions on how far AI can go without crossing that line. So what are your thoughts on AI in general, and how do you think it could be used without crossing the line?
I guess that they have to be super, super careful if they do want to use AI, but they already said no. But we're actually talking about this, for example, for illustrators. I completely understand that, of course, you want to protect your work and you have been putting a lot of effort and you're very talented in doing it. And just by a machine grabbing all of that, your references, so it makes something, right? However, in a way, when you are learning, you're doing the same thing. You're not gonna, for example, in my case, as I'm creating videos, I am going to grab like little pieces of whatever creator I like, so I can make my own style. But it's gonna take me probably months, or it's gonna take me years. And AI takes, like, I don't know, seconds, right? And I guess that's the advantage. But I also feel that you have to be very careful, because I can give you an example. If you're going to be working for a company where you're handling a lot of, sensitive information from a lot of clients, you might have a lot of people working on a certain project where you will need to use AI. So what you could do is develop your own engine and have it in house, so that way you don't really infringe that kind of because that's a problem. Like, if you start feeding the AI with a lot of things there, they are intellectual property, it's when it comes and becomes a problem. And of course, when it's something that we are not able to control. So there are a lot of AI tools and machines developments or whatever that they're kind of blooming out of nowhere, and we don't know exactly what's under it, what's under like the great things, right? Because I personally like to use AI, like ChatGPT or whatever is the case, when I'm writing something. But one, in my defense, as you know, English is not my first language. So it's a little bit tricky and difficult, because there are a lot of things that I can probably set up in my mind, but in my native language, in Spanish. But then when I try to translate it in English, it doesn't make sense, So that's how I would use AI. And I remember I actually uploaded a video on my YouTube channel where I generated a thumbnail using AI. And I got a lot of backlash about that, so I took it down. But I understand why you want to go against them, because you want to prove that it's not okay at a certain level. But you can definitely use it as a tool. But to what extent, it really depends on the company, and they can definitely work on an in-house, AI that they can have control of, right? That's a possibility. But that's what I believe.
You made a couple of really good points. Point number one, if you're going to use AI, develop your own engine and program it to pull information out from your own already created content, things that you own. So Nintendo makes their own, and what the hell's on here? Yeah, like 10 soundtracks at the same time. I completely agree with what you mentioned about creating. If you're going to use AI, build the engine to pull information from your work,
and so it doesn't go out as well, because you want to limit it, you want to protect it, right? I guess it's very important to feed your own information and also protect your information so it doesn't go out. So
it's an offline AI basically, and it basically pulls information from only your database to continue to create assets inspired by what you've already created. So that's the way Nintendo can actually use their own asset and still own them, and just create and continue the pattern, continue the actual theme they've been carrying for years. So that's actually a good one. Another one that another good thing you mentioned was, which is the defense of general AI, was that AI is like a human, like us. It learns, right? And it pulls information from here, that, and creates its own thing. So that's actually one little point that I haven't seen it before, that I actually do like, because AI can be helpful. And just like I'm like a graphic designer. I remember when I was in school, I like, go do a what do we call that? Like an artboard, and go get yourself certain things that inspire you, and then create something from that. You're not copying that. You're just using it as a reference for it to inspire you and for you to create something else. It's a good way to look at, AI in that way. So I like that point as well. The other point was writing. Yeah, you're right. You're not, and this is away from whether English is your first language or not. AI can help you write your script. It can say, you know what? I have these topics here. I have this article here. Can you put this in script form for me so that I can follow it? You're picking the topic for news and articles, and you're not in school anymore. You're not doing it for a grade. This is your work. So why not use that tool that is accessible to you to say, you know what, I might not know how to write this in the right way that I would love to convey it. And can you, I have this topic from this source here. Can you write the script for me based on this information and this news so that I can create a news or whatever? Yeah, and it does it. And then I like, because I've done it before too. And I like at the end how it says, and adapt this to your own.
Of course, yeah.
Adapt
and it gets to a problem where you grab everything and you just copy paste it. And it's like, probably, I'm going to disclose how old I am, but that happened to us in our generation. We didn't have the internet or Google. We had to go to the actual library or the public library and get the information from there and then transcribe it into whatever homework we were working on. So basically we were doing the same thing, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I think only Zach was born in the world with the internet already in it.
Probably.
Anybody else remember that? Having to text Cha-Cha?
Cha-Cha?
I don't know.
No.
Who's
Yeah,
Cha-Cha?
that was like before like Googling stuff was easy. Like you would text Cha-Cha your questions and then somebody would text you the answer within like 30 minutes. And I guess you just had to trust that this person knew what they were talking about.
Interesting.
Boo Mini just gifted 1 membership, and then Boo Mini also claimed the said membership to become a member of the channel. Thank you so much, Boo Mini.
Thank you.
Or you are awesome. You rock. This is I gifted myself. That's awesome. Yeah, guess what? Yeah, you are valid. You can get yourself. But yeah, I agree with a lot of the points you made when it comes to AI. It's a tool, guys. It's a tool that is improving day by day. There's always the fear that somebody's gonna create a brain and that brain's gonna take over the internet and then take over everything. And believe it or not,
I've seen it many times in movies or
Best
whatever.
Avengers movie.
As technology advances, I can't say it's not possible, but right now it's not here. So we just have to, But when it comes to gaming, it's just it all depends on how you use the AI. AI has always been around since the NES era. It's just
It's not new.
The Smash 4 or Smash Ultimate computers at level 9.
Yeah.
Ooh, they're brutal.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's AI. That's the program, a program to do something, to act like a certain way.
They are tough.
Yeah, Terminator, getting close to reality. Hey, Mr. Elon Musk is building a robot, and this robot is going to run on AI. And like, dude, why? And make sure you put a cord on it, and then make sure that cord doesn't go far. That's all. No. But with that, let's go ahead and jump to the last topic of the day real quick. We got about 20 minutes left on the podcast, and then we can go ahead and get some some questions from the chat in our Q&A section. We're talking about, let's see here. We got that one. Nintendo Switch 2, although we went a little bit over in topic number 1, but this time I'm going to throw out a question to you guys. That the question I mentioned the question in the beginning of the podcast, but I'm going to repeat it again for Lily.
Yes.
We're talking about Nintendo Switch 2 and what will make Nintendo Switch 2 without mentioning any games. So what will it have that will make it that big seller without mentioning games? Because we know games are the driving force of the Switch 2. We're going to get better games. We're going to get the next game. But without games, what do you think? I'm going to start with you, Lily. What will make Switch 2 without video games? You can mention any feature you want. Don't mention backwards compatibility because that's games.
Yeah, it's games. I'm going to go with having the ability to go... Well, that'll be games as well, but it's just... You know how PlayStation, you can go live directly from your PlayStation?
Yeah.
I would personally like to see something like that on the Switch, like not just for for video games itself, but I feel like I know and I understand that Nintendo will always protect their intellectual property, but I also remember that back in the day there was a very delicate subject where people creating videos on YouTube were getting kind of banned because there were certain they weren't allowing to stream certain games, and then they discussed it and they thought, okay, it's okay, but only if you're there, either your voice or you're on camera, so it's not just the game by itself, right? Unless you have the rights as as a publisher or whatever, or media or television, whatever's the case. So I feel like that will definitely make it a Switch too if they do that, something like that, because we do have this option to share certain things, like capture things, but we cannot stream directly from the Switch. That for me, being a content creator and also sharing with my friends and whatever, that'll be a neat feature. The other thing would be to probably make it, I guess, more functional, because it's functional to its extent because it's a console, right? You can't play games, but you don't really have a lot of apps, for example, that you can use on other applications. Like you can even watch, I don't know, Blu-rays or whatever, which is no longer a thing, but you see what I mean, like to make it a bit more functional for your daily activities and not just for gaming.
Yeah,
so I will push it that way.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. And that's basically more on the actual developers to bring their apps to Switch, because I know Hulu was there for a while. Hulu, right? Then Netflix promised to come to Switch, and never did at the beginning. There was a Disney. Remember, Disney said, "Oh, we're going to be on Switch." Disney Plus, it never came to Nintendo Switch. And so I think it would have been great to have those apps there to make it that the Switch more than just games, right?
Yeah.
But I agree. Paul, what do you think?
It's a small thing, but if they want to have the system reach bigger audiences, I think having little things in it, not too gimmicky, but enough that would complement gaming or add to some gaming ideas would be cool. And one of them is like a pedometer, because I've thought for a while that Nintendogs would be such an easy game to bring out in today's market, because you could have Nintendogs on smartphones. You could walk around your block and stuff like that, and kind of like Pikmin, meet up with other digital dog owners and Nintendo cats in there as well, and mark territories and have little clicks and have little fun. And then you could come home and pet your pet or whatever, and then on the Nintendo Switch you could see it on the big screen and interact. But you could kind of take that away, or take that need away, if the Nintendo Switch 2 or Nintendo Snap, which, by the way, Lily, we've been tinkering with Nintendo Snap tonight as a pretty good name. So that's what we're
I actually like it a
little bit. Nintendo Snap. That could be kind of fun, but is it too small and too limiting? Maybe, maybe not. But if it does have the return of, Street Pass, well, that would be one more reason to have a pedometer inside. But how often are some of these things?
Then you could play Pokemon Go on it.
Pokemon Go on it, yeah, and that still has
we're missing a camera.
Forward-facing camera or rear-facing camera. Forward-facing, you start to look at how often was that used in Wii U? Oh, okay. The IR blaster on the bottom of the right Joy-Con. How many games actually use that? Oh, okay. So maybe some features, just because you could have a lot doesn't mean it should be a Swiss Army knife if you're not going to take advantage of it. And are developers going to take advantage of it? Plus, are you making this system actually a little bit bigger than a base Nintendo Switch? So maybe it's not an ideal portable device. So maybe that goes away with the pedometer idea. And plus, I only came up with that idea for one game, which was my Nintendogs idea. Are they actually going to say, yeah, let's include this pedometer so that you could give Link more steps and more stamina in his energy? I mean, if you wanted to make it a fitness device, then you could, but it's not a fitness device. It's an entertainment device that does fitness things which is different than, I mean, I could make a whole slew of ideas of how to, you put your forward-facing camera on it. So then when you're doing exercises and jumping squats, that's making Mario have more jump power, and that translates into that game. And I could make a fitness thing for every game, but that's not it. I think, what sets it apart beyond power, maybe it has a couple of little things like that. I really wouldn't mind, kind of like how PlayStation 5 has its shoulder buttons that have that sensitivity, that push against it. Give me that in the analog stick. I think that's the next level analog stick, where you could play it normal. If you have carpal tunnel syndrome or have weaker thumbs, hey, you could turn off the feature altogether. But if you've got some strength in there and you want to play with it and pull back, Link's bow and arrow with that tension and feel that vibrate. When Mario is walking through Honey Kingdom and he is stuck in honey and it's moving through like molasses, you got to push kind of, when you are on the jet ski and the next wave race and you have waves splashing you back and forth, you feel that analog stick going whoosh, whoosh, or the next Star Fox, you have to push down on the throttle to go down and pull up to go up. And if you're getting hit from the side, play up a little bit more on I always loved rumble technology, and I think there's still more ways to do it. The Joy-Cons kind of had that HD rumble. PS5 does it too. Like if you play Astro's, Toy Room, that's pretty sweet. But I want to feel more of a rumble being hit from my side in my R-Wing. So I think the analog stick is my main controller feature that I would like to see. And I kind of keep going back to, even if I don't know if I would personally use this all the time, and probably not, but I would try it out a little bit per game, is just throw in that cheap piece of plastic headband with a little strap that every box has from the start. $7 plastic VR headset, because then every single Nintendo Switch successor comes with it. So every single developer knows there is no limitation in our vision not having an audience. It's there. And that would help propel the industry forward. And then if you don't want to play Metroid Prime 4 normal, imagine playing that game, which looks like it would be perfect in VR. And that would be the difference maker. Some of these games in the first couple of years might have some ports that exist on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. And I don't think Nintendo wants to fall into the PlayStation 4 and 5 thing. Not that it's a horrible fiasco or anything, but half of the 100 million PlayStation players are on PS4. Half have not gone into PS5. And I don't think it's just because they're not accessible. They're not able to be purchased yet. No, they're out there. Their stock issues have cleared up for the most part. It's probably because, well, up until recently, a lot of the games you could still play on both, and they still looked good. So if you're going to have, a few of these games run on Nintendo Switch and its successor, well, yeah, it looks better, but probably more so better than PS4 to PS5, because you're looking at a much greater tech disparity. But dang, the ability to play some of them in VR, that's a big difference maker. And like to some people, that would be cool. And wait a minute, you don't have to spend this $500 on an extra VR device? No, it comes in every box. Ooh, and hey, that kind of goes back to the Nintendo Snap name. Snap on a VR headset. That's another one that goes to what we were saying earlier. And like we said, I think just on the last podcast and at least one other podcast, you could release a different, more high tier, higher end, designated VR headset that does all the bells and whistles, that costs its own several $100s on the side, but you wouldn't have to play as that. So I kind of went around there, but VR is one, analog stick is two, and then for the heck of it, maybe a pedometer as three, just because I could see, like the Nintendogs application, I could see a fun Street Pass thing coming back, and maybe your Street Pass friends, that could form like Splatoon allies. You could be the more Street Pass friends that you've had. Now that boosts up your squad in, Splatoon. It boosts up more rally support, and you have little, Street Pass squidlings that come in for an aerial raid. And like the more you met, like
you could have a crazy Splatfest if people have to Street Pass.
Dang,
yeah,
those kinds of modes, and also. Even though I said, it's not a workout machine that plays games, it's a gaming machine that has a little bit of an exercise mentality behind it. You can't forget about Ring Fit Adventure. I mean, it's like a 13 million selling game. Yeah. And it's an awesome game. And I guarantee you, they've got to have a Ring Fit Adventure 2 on Nintendo Switch 2.
I have the game. Is Sunburst still in the box, brand new, unopened?
It's so fun.
Yeah, I have it. I don't know where it is though.
And my degree is in kinesiology. As much as I am a gamer, I have my Bachelor of Science degree in kinesiology. That is the study of the human body and human movement. And I'll tell you, that is a good workout device. It's not easy. They made it fun, and they made it actually give you a workout in helping burn fat and build muscle. So
yeah.
Couple of different things to put together. You want to have fun exercising. So maybe that pedometer idea isn't too far-fetched.
All right, Paul, you convinced me. I'll try it. Fine, Paul.
Oh my gosh. If you already have it,
I got a medal and everything.
If you already have it,
good job.
In the words of Reggie Fils-Aimé, what's wrong with you?
My body
is your body not ready?
Not yet.
Do it.
Hey, to recap, pedometer. You mentioned a feature that basically wasn't a patent that I discovered on the channel. I told you about the haptic feedback through the joysticks on the Joy-Con, right? That is already on the patent, and it's basically just like what PS5 is doing with their triggers, only on the actual joysticks. It talks about when walking on sand, you can actually feel like pressure, or swimming, or any other terrain, whatever. Or even pushback. When somebody's pushing against you, you have to push back to feel that. And I also said, hey, if you're gonna do that, make sure that you have actually fixed the Joy-Con drift. Can you imagine?
Of course, by default, please.
Can you imagine you pushing and all of a sudden you just snap off the.
This is part of the plan. It's part of the plan.
Did you guys see the guy who fixed Joy-Con drift?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and how simple, literally just
like
one screw would have done it.
Yeah.
And you just have to slide a piece of cardboard under
That is
it,
a flaw. It's a design flaw. That's what it is.
It is, yeah. And Nintendo already, there's about 5 or 6 patents on brand new joysticks, new technology. They're doing their own version of what this company did with the what do you call that? The Hall Effect. The Hall Effect joystick. But with that, let me go ahead and mention mine real quick. My little features here. First thing, I want to take the dock and turn it into a media hub. Okay, that dock is just there wasting space and just there. I want to turn it into a media hub that you can also use without your Switch attached to it, without your Switch snapped on it. Let's see what snap, not attached, snapped. So if you don't have a Switch there, you can actually use it as a media hub for apps. Like Lily was saying, you can have your own media hub that comes pre-installed with all the apps you can stream with streaming services, Apple TV, Disney Plus, all that stuff, Netflix, already on that little media hub. Nintendo can also take that media hub and add their own little version of rewards where you can redeem your gold coin, or not your gold coins, your silver coins, get wallpapers or even music for the background, right? Just give that reward system a little bit more value, like give people enough reason to collect those little silver coins. To me, I get to redeem them every once in a while to get wallpapers or to enter a sweepstakes that I'll never win, and that's basically it. But if you let's say have wallpapers, skins, if you have music for the background, if you have little things in there that you can actually, a new Mario game is coming out, right? Have that on the eShop where you can redeem your gold coins and get wallpapers from that Mario game or even music to add to your home screen on the Switch or to your hub, right? And so that type of reward system will be cool. A media hub for the console and a better reward system for the Switch thingy. Of course, the little chat thingy. Maybe it's very finicky because I know that when you enter into communicating with other people on it is a kind of a family console. Nintendo try to as possible, and so that's the reason why Roblox is not on Switch, because Roblox is open for everyone, and if you guys only knew what you could see in Roblox, a kid's game, you will not let trust me, you will not let your kids in there. They have even little rooms where adults
Things happen.
It's crazy. So if you want a Roblox on Switch, I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
But I think that's all I'm gonna say about that. I want a feature that turns the Switch dock into a hub. Maybe ability to stream. This goes into the game territory, but this opens the open that what we were talking about the DS dual screen. Maybe you don't need two screens. You just need a dock that you can stream the game to on the TV, and then also the screen on your Switch is an additional screen, right? As long as you're at a certain distance from the dock, you can actually stream that there.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? That's what the PS what do you call it? PS Motion, PS Duco, Blue Pro, the PS screen. What do you call that? The
new PlayStation handheld.
The PlayStation
Portal, yeah.
PlayStation Portal. That's what it does. It actually streams the game onto that device, but it actually streams it from the console, which the console needs to be on, to that device. So that's a feature that Nintendo can add, and you can stream the game. I mean,
it's not like a hybrid with the Wii U, because the Wii U was essentially that. Right? We're able to stream from the console, and you had the little gamepad, but it wasn't, as successful as this hybrid.
Exactly. So
Switch,
that's
right.
Yeah, exactly. That's just bring back that functionality. Basically, just make the dock a little more powerful. Make it into its own little hub, so that way you can use it without the Nintendo Switch, but also give you the ability to stream games to the hub, so that you can use the second screen for DS games, Wii U games, and such. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Hollywood, Mr. Hendrix Hollywood Zach.
Yeah, I think kind of everything that we said earlier about the snap. Being able to snap all these additional things onto it. And Paul, I was listening to you when you were talking about the pedometer and whatnot, and it really brought me back to when the Switch first came out. And before we had, because remember, the Switch 2 hype started before the OLED was announced. Like, we all thought the OLED was the Switch HD, the Switch 2, the Switch whatever. And I feel like there was these conversations that kind of just fall into the wayside that I haven't brought up at all since we've been talking. But I used to bring them up so much back in the day, which is swappable Joy-Cons. Like, we don't need the pedometer in the Switch 2 if that's going to drive up the price. But get a special Joy-Con that has this pedometer and the camera, and now you can play Pokemon Go with it. It's got a camera built into the Joy-Con, so there you go for, seeing the environment and whatnot. It's got the pedometer, so there you go for your steps. There's so much that they can do with all these different devices that you could just snap on to the system. And so I would love to see customizable Joy-Cons. I would love to see really companies coming out with like specialized, their own specialized software. Are you buying a fishing game? Okay, well, take off your Joy-Con or whatever they're going to be called and snap on this other one that has a fishing reel built into it with the haptic feedback still. So it's like when the fish is pulling hard, it gets harder and you got to give the slack. You know what I mean? I would love to see just this crazy, because nobody needs that unless they're getting a specific game for it. No one needs, it'd be really crazy if the new Switch came with a fishing pole Joy-Con, but there's just so much that you can do. it's just kind of unlimited when you make something modular, you know.
Mm.
And
I love that. I think I love the as specifically with the fishing part. Fishing game is a niche game, right? It's a niche game for people who love to fish. And I think if there were some kind of accessory that will literally make it feel like you're fishing with the haptic feedback and everything, people would buy it. Those people would buy it for the experience. I would buy it, you know. I mean, I'm not a good fishing guy because I feel sorry for every fish and I'll probably throw it back. Although I do love to eat fish, you know. But yeah, I love that. I love that.
And like that works too for your what'd you call it? Not a dock. Entertainment. What did you want a dock to be? A media hub.
Media hub, yeah.
You know, like you can have the base dock and it can just be a dock like this current Switch, or you can get one that has an external graphics card to boost your system even more when it's docked. Or you can get one that's a media hub. Like there's just, when it's plug and play, there's so much you can do, you know. Even something as simple as removing the front of the dock and having your Switch in there be the screen of the media hub when it's docked, you know. But yeah, or an add-on. Yeah, there's just, I would just love this modular system. Like I think that would be so cool, and just snapping this into it and that into it and having them do, there's just so much you could do. Snapping it into your VR, just, I am excited to be speculating about all of these things because with the insane number of patents Nintendo has filed, like we were just looking at that thing earlier. What was that?
I don't know.
You missed something weird. It was like a DS, but it wasn't a DS, and there was like Joy-Cons on it, and it was like a patent. Mike's making a video about it tomorrow potentially.
It's something new. Something new we have never seen before. And then we were looking at the internals of it, and it's also brand new. Like all the internals have different parts, and what was it? It had like 2 graphic cards over here and 2 graphic cards, 3D and 2D. It was weird. It was like a lot of it was weird. But it's you know, I mean, we don't know if this can ever come to pass, but it's interesting, eh?
Yeah, and so yeah, you know, I'd say for my Switch 2, I want to be able to use existing Switches as a controller for it. I want Street Pass and then modular accessories would be like my biggest goals and hopes for the system outside of
just
beefed
games.
up hardware.
Yeah.
Did you want to add anything to it, Lily? Before I feel like I cut you off before. Did I?
No. I wanted to mention what Josie said because shout out to Josie. She's not with us, but she's in the chat. But it was exactly what you mentioned about she wants to be able to customize the UI in the Switch so that we can do wallpapers and stuff like that. And also, Boomini just gifted another sub.
Another one.
Yes. 1046. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Boomini, for that gifted sub. I love how he gifted the sub and then he claimed it himself.
Oh! By the way, the one who got the sub is Paul Gale Network.
Thank you.
So he's not a sub. Well, a member, right?
Paul is now a member and a moderator.
Yeah, and a co-host, and you know.
But thank you, Boomini, for that gift.
I did just remember something else when you guys were talking about all the different functionality and all these apps and whatnot. It made me think not the Switch 2, but something that could come out at the same time. You know, the Switch 1 had the Switch Lite. I would love for the Switch 2, instead of a Switch Lite, almost like a Nintendo phone.
Okay.
You know, because the Switch runs a version of Android. And so I think it would be pretty cool to see a light version of the Switch, which is also a phone. That gets you that pocketable version if this new one's bigger.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's not as portable.
That's interesting. It's very, very interesting. We have a super chat here from Clifford Favors. You know where's Clifford Favors? Hey, no, that's not it. When it comes to the new games on any system, do you prefer to play it on your day off or no interruptions, or does it matter? What do you guys think?
I'll go first.
I took off.
Go ahead.
I couldn't have planned it any better, where my personal defense class was ending at night on a Thursday, and I was picking up The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom at a GameStop that happened to be doing that 9 p.m. showing, or that 9 p.m. reveal of release, and I had Friday off. So I taught my last class, went over there, came back home, and I played for like 14 hours straight. So it was awesome without any responsibilities to do on Friday and stuff like that. Random people in the house, well, not random people, my wife, son, and daughter are waking up random times of the night. Hey, Daddy, what are you doing?
What a bunch of randos.
Random people like, hey, Paul, what's that? Oh, it's Zelda.
A random little boy lives in my house here.
People waking up in the middle of the night to get some water from the kitchen or something like that.
Please,
Daddy, what are you doing?
You know, when people ask what is a true gamer, I'm just gonna show them that clip. A true gamer is someone whose family becomes a bunch of randos.
Random people. But that was great. So having designated time for something special, like, oh man, there's nothing quite like these 14-hour sessions, which don't happen too often. But honestly, yeah, for me, there is no too little time. If I could only play for an hour, I'll play for an hour. It's all good. That's why pausing exists these days, and quick saves and stuff. Now, back in the day, you couldn't. You had to carve out time when you rented a game. Time was more valuable. And even though time should be more valuable as we get older, I guess, in a way, technology has allowed us to mix it up. And being able to play portably means, if I don't have time to sit in front of the TV to do it, I can take this portably into a different room and play it. So to answer that, there is no matter. I will play with as little or as much time, but the more, obviously, the better.
Yep. That is correct.
And to answer that question, I've never had any time. Free time.
I do have time, but only when I stream. That's my excuse for playing. When I'm streaming, I'm playing. So it's I guess that's a perfect excuse. But I guess it really depends, because I'm in the same boat as I rather just go and play and sit down for 12 hours nonstop or something like that. But I can't. In reality, I can't. And I don't really think that there's a lot of people that can, that have that kind of privilege. So if you can play for an hour or two, but it really depends on the game though. Because Tears of the Kingdom, I played it, nonstop, right? But Luigi's Mansion, for example, right now, I'm playing it like 1 hour, 2 hours, depending. And I also like to be done with my, my whole day and be done with it, and then start, if I have 3 hours, then I sit down without worrying that I have to do something in the kitchen or that I have to do something for work or something. So I'm completely disconnected, so I can focus on the game. But that's like the most, for me, enjoyable gaming sessions compared to the other ones where I have so little time, because an hour is nothing. Like if you're gaming, an hour goes very fast, right? So yeah, if you're playing a video game, just go way fast.
Yeah, I would say for me, it depends on the game. If we're talking straight up like a game that I am hyped for and been waiting for, like Tears of the Kingdom. I think I played Tears of the Kingdom in my first day of owning it. I think I probably played it, 18 to 20 hours in that first 24 hours.
Sound reasonable.
Right? I know. I took a few hours off. But especially, too, with social media now, I don't want things to get spoiled. And so that encourages me to play something quicker. But usually, for the most part, I pick up my games months after release. I'm not too invested. And then I just kind of play them at my leisure when I get the time. Same as Lily, I'll try and stream when I play them. I think the other big exception would be Kingdom Hearts 3. When that came out, that was hours every day, because of course it was, because it's Kingdom Hearts 3 and I waited my whole life. And yeah, so ideally you can get in that 24-hour gaming sesh, that's always nice, but those are very few and far between.
Yeah.
24-hour gaming stuff. That's just. I
See,
can't.
What you do a charity stream for a 24-hour live stream, and then there you go.
And then after that, another charity stream for recovery because I'll be like in bed with my like. Yeah. Thank you so much for that super chat, Clifford. You are amazing, and no interruptions. I always get interrupted, so I always like I play 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. But when I'm determined to pass a game to beat it, I end up beating the game.
Yeah.
I don't beat every game. I only beat games I'm really interested in. Mario, Zelda, Splatoon, some third party, some indie games. Not every game, I have to admit. I still have to beat Metroid. I still have to beat
all the Zeldas, remember? Every single one of them.
Oh yeah. I'm right now I'm enjoying it. I just
became an adult. Right now.
I just became an adult in Ocarina of Time for the first time. I'm like,
yay!
They just stole 7 years out of this guy's life just because he wasn't.
Wait until you beat it.
But I'm enjoying the story. I think I you know what? It's too early to tell, but I think I'm enjoying the story a little bit more than I'm enjoying the story for. Did I enjoy the story for Tears of the Kingdom and
Wild Era.
Yeah, and Breath of the Wild, I think it's because it's more linear, the game. So it's actually a story that continues rather than you spending hours in the field just doing random stuff, So I think that's I'm beginning to see what people are talking about when it comes to the open world Zelda, where you actually do things on rather than just a linear thing, right? There's action, adventure, and there's very, very story driven. Here you have to go after the story in Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. Nothing will happen if you don't trigger the story in some sort of way, which will gives you a lot of time to explore. I like it too, but at least I'm not actually understanding that. So I'll let you guys know what I think about the game once I'm done.
Yay!
But
one of us.
That's the thing. I'm actually excited to be playing it now as an adult rather than when I was a kid when it came out, because I feel like now I enjoy it more. I'm excited to play the game, and I'm excited to get back and just do the thing. So pretty cool. Yeah, and Link's hat is not weird. It's not weird. It's not green longitude weird from the Tecmo that thing. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Lily, did you have a chance to watch last week? Because you.
No, I didn't. Unfortunately, I was working.
I'll send you the clips.
They went nuts.
They
went nuts because I said that I wasn't crazy about the tech demo for Zelda. I wasn't too crazy about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they went nuts.
Yeah, he didn't like the weird thing on his head in the tech demo.
The weird thing on his head, yes.
The weird thing on his head.
Yeah.
Unless it was Aslo from the Minish Cap, but even though Aslo is weirdly cute, so.
I'll get there. I haven't got there yet, but the weird thing on his head was just way too weird. But yeah, we are now hitting the 2 hour and 10 mark of the podcast. So I guess we'll go ahead and use the next 5 minutes to get your questions answered in the chat. So make sure that you add Mike Odyssey so it highlights your message, and we know it's a message. Okay, do you guys hear like that little buzzing sound? Is it me?
I think that's Paul. I see a little circle around his guy, which means there's audio coming from.
Oh, you're live?
I'm not live.
Oh yeah,
I'm live. I'm still here. I stepped away for a moment. I wrote in the chat. Be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah. Go ahead and ask your questions away to anybody on the chat or to everybody. It can be related to any topic whatsoever. It can be related to the topic we spoke about today.
Ask away.
Yeah, whatever you guys wanna ask. This is your time to ask away. I will highlight or anybody else who has the ability to highlight can highlight your chat question here. All right. So while we do that, How did you spend your 4th of July weekend, Lily?
Well, for us, it was July 1st, Canada Day.
Okay.
So, happy 4th
Happy
of July.
Canada Day. Yeah,
everybody.
nice.
Well, it was on Monday, so it was kind of, I'm still working midnight shift, so it has been tough for me to stay awake, even though the fireworks there are at around 9 p.m. And I worked Canada Day. That was my weekend. Not fun, huh?
And do you guys
I was working.
Do you guys do fireworks on Canada Day or yeah?
We do. Yes, we do. Yeah. Yes, we do. But it's because usually everybody gets the holiday, of course, but because the nature of my work, I cannot. I don't have the luxury. So unfortunately, I worked. So I was working the entire weekend.
Okay.
Fun times.
Boo Minis, another super chat. Thank you, Boo, for your support. Appreciate you. A Nintendo question: what are your favorite snack foods? I got a lot of favorite snack foods. Right now, the snack food that I'm not allowed to eat right now. Is chips, Doritos. I like Reese's Pieces.
Yeah,
I like
goated.
I like anything peanut butter with chocolate mixed together. Peanuts, and stuff like that. I can't have none of that stuff right now. I can't have pork rinds because they're 0 calorie. I love pork rinds. I love spicy stuff. Snacks. I was a soda-holic before and not anymore because I have substituted with this bubbly. And I actually prefer sparkling water than soda because now I find soda too sweet.
Yep, that's what happens.
Yeah, so I'm like, what the heck did this happen? I find sparkling water now so refreshing and just so good. And I found out that what I loved about soda was just the fizziness. I like the fizziness stuff. It's like cool water. It's not boring water with no fizzy stuff. I like this kind of water better. So snack wise, yeah, I'm not sure if you guys can count pizza as a snack, can you?
Depends how much you eat.
Yeah, depends on how much you eat.
Yeah, no, it's not a snack.
I do have a lot of snacks in my mind, but I'm gonna go with Hershey's chocolate, but the cookies and cream one.
That one is good.
That's my favorite, but it's very rare. With me, it's very strange. Like I'll have that kind of. I want to eat something like a snack, and then I won't eat it like for 2 months or something like that.
Okay.
That's how it goes with me. So usually I don't really like a lot of sweets or snacks, and then all the other ones are Mexican candies. So a lot of tamarind, and it's not spicy, but it's more like that combination with the spice and the sweetness of the tamarind.
Yeah,
there's a lot of Mexican candies that are really good.
The mango chili suckers.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the best.
I was introduced to Reese's via the E.T. movie, by the way. That's when Reese's made its debut into the mainstream media when M&M's rejected.
Yeah, that's true.
And then they took Reese's, and that's the Reese's Pieces came out in the E.T. movie, E.T.'s favorite snack. And when I saw that as a kid, I'm like, you know what? That's my favorite snack too, E.T. You're my homie, E.T. You're my homie. And from then on, Reese's has been my favorite chocolate ever since. We got Paul Gale's favorite snacks here. Super Flaming Cheetos. I didn't know they were super hot Flaming Cheetos.
There's a regular bag and then a black label bag.
Yep.
Really?
Black label bag.
The black
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I like that. Snickers is also mine as well. Big Starburst. That's also mine too. And what's I don't Almond. What's
Almond Roca is a chocolate.
Almond Roca, yeah, it's like a chocolate brittle kind of thing where it's like peanutty and caramel chocolate hard. Like it's awesome.
That's good. Now I'm getting hungry now. Anybody else has given up their snacks?
I gotta say, I'll keep this short and sweet. On the sweet side, we're gonna go puppy chow. Love me some puppy chow. You make it as a snack, and then you eat it as cereal the next day in milk.
Are you talking about dog food?
Good. No, you take Chex Mix with peanut butter, and I use Nutella too, and chocolate, and then you can cover it in powdered sugar.
Yeah,
I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's good.
That's tragic.
Nutella,
Sorry for you.
Nutella is a weakness for me. I can't. My wife gets that little bottle. I'm like, why are you getting that little bottle for? We get the big jar at the jar. And growing
not gonna last.
I think the official ones are called Nutty Buddies or something.
Yeah.
Mud pies. I don't know.
Oh my God! Just stop. I mean, anything that's cream filled with cakey stuff, it's sweet as my. I haven't had sweets in about 2 months, and I'm going nuts now. I was over it. I had a headache. I broke my habit, and now I'm going back to it again. Okay. But in Puerto Rico, they had the little Nutella little. It came with little crackers. You kind of dip in it with that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love those with the little sticks. Yeah.
I've got a roll, but I wanted to highlight one last person. Well, before I have to leave because. Oh shoot, I want to get the name right. Rico Lee asked, what do you think Nintendo has been planned for the next 3D Mario, considering how long it's been and how Odyssey 2 never happened? I think they have something big planned, like Bowser's Fury.
Yeah. One thing I can tell you on top of that note is that Miyamoto did come out and say that every game that has been selling 30 million plus will get a sequel every 3 to 5 years. So you can expect this next console moving forward that if the game sells more than 30 million, that game will be a follow-up game within 3 to 5 years.
I think
that means Animal Crossing's coming soon.
A big beefy Mario.
Yeah.
A nice 3D world that there's some kind of pollution or something that probably prevents you from going truly anywhere right away. Maybe like whether it's a world or something that's not unlocked, but like quite a big, awesome looking terrain, and whether it's a single planet that's just vast with how much it has in it, or different worlds. I don't know. I'm really excited. That's like one of the main games on the next system that I am dying to see because Nintendo's 3D Mario team never misses a beat. They're all great too. Incredible. Like the range is very high in 3D Mario games. Can't think of a bad one. Can't even think of an okay one, really. I know some people think Super Mario Sunshine wasn't the strongest, and in my opinion, it wasn't the strongest. But even that was a great 3D Mario, in my opinion, just with flaws.
Yeah,
but most of them are like almost flawless, man. Anyways, I've got to go, but I think the next 3D Mario is going to be grand. Sorry for the abrupt ending, but
well, we're actually at the end, so it's not that abrupt. So how about you go ahead and take the time to plug what you have going on this week? Where can we find you?
On YouTube and Twitter/X, I am at Paul Gale Network. Since it's my birthday this Sunday, I'll probably put up the video. Thank you, Lily. I'll probably put up the video on Sunday because I'm still working behind the scenes on it. But I did say before on the podcast that I'm, creating what I think will be the world's first Legend of Zelda themed swimming pool. Kind of like how 4 years ago I had the world's first Super Mario Brothers themed swimming pool. So I'm working on the Zelda thing behind the scenes. Now it's not going to be ready until late July, but I'm doing the mosaic now. But the whole thing will be ready in a few weeks. So
pool party!
This Sunday, I'll have a video on social media, YouTube, Twitter, and all that of like how does the mosaic look. So maybe that'll be like a 2 weeks. So yeah.
All right, thank you.
Paul. And thanks, everybody.
All right, and Lily, what can you try and do?
What's that?
Oh, no worries, Paul. Bye. Thank you. Take care.
Take care, Paul.
Take care.
Well, you can find me here on YouTube, and you can find me on my social. But I guess I'm gonna do the plug with Twitter because I think I started on Threads, and it has been a year since I started on Threads, and I do have a lot of engagement there. But Twitter is just completely dead. So if anybody wants to have a conversation with me through Twitter, because Mike always does, Paul, Zach, Josie, but I feel like, yeah, I guess if you can, it'll be great. If you guys can follow me on Twitter, you can find me as Lily Hyrule as well. Well, X, okay, X. But I'm doing this for this. I'm doing this for you, Josie. I know it's not Twitter. It's not X. It's Twitter. Okay. But yeah, at the moment, that's pretty much all I'm doing. You can find me everywhere as Lily Hyrule, and anything that I'm doing at the moment. Just basic live streamings right now. I am getting ready for my piano streams, by the way. But however, I'll just warn you that I'm gonna be practicing a lot of repetition, and I'm sorry, but I want to kill two birds with one stone and be practicing with my piano skills. So yeah, stay tuned to that on the channel. I recently just got back from vacation. I was working. I'm still am. So it has been a bit hectic for me. But yeah, I'm getting slowly back on track.
Nice. All right, and over to Zach Hollywood Hendricks.
You guys can find me here every Friday on the Mike Odyssey YouTube channel for the Nintopics podcast. Also, too, I stream Smash Ultimate. I was going to be streaming that tonight after this ended, but then I got a last-minute wedding to film out of state, so I got to drive a few hours early in the morning. So that is postponed. You can find me on Twitter /X at what is it? YoungCalf Zach, and everywhere else at Zach Hendricks Voiceover or Zach Hendricks Media. You search either one and they will come up for everything.
Nice. Thank you, Zach, for being part of the podcast as well. And yeah, go ahead, check out Zach's and Lily's content. They are amazing in what they do. And well, you can find me here at the Odyssey Monday through Friday. There's something happening on Monday. Okay, write that down. Something happening on Monday. Not gonna say much. Monday. That's all I'm gonna say. So if you are here and you want to know what's happening on Monday and on this channel, then tune in to find out. Other than that,
spoiler alert: he's fighting a horse.
Fighting a horse. Well, I'm fighting a horse. I'll probably be feeding a horse carrots here. Feeding a horse carrots. So. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter. I normally use Twitter to communicate with my fellow content creators and businesses. But if you are a Twix person, then you can also follow me at Mike Odyssey YT. You can also follow me on Instagram. I do Instagram sometimes, once in a while. And here at the Odyssey for all things here. And I also want to shout out Joycey J in the chat. You can find Joycey J every Friday. Here, also at the podcast today, she was in the chat, being with us, and hopefully she feels better very, very soon.
Yes.
What did she say? Once Mike finishes all his other games, we have to give him a final exam to test his knowledge. Well, guess what? Let me tell you from now on, I'm gonna fail because I am the incarnation of what Dory is in Finding Nemo.
I have an idea. I know that we don't talk much Zelda. Well, we do, but it's because it has been a coincidence. But why don't we do a trivia for The Legend of Zelda?
We could do it.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's find something.
As long as I'm not answering the questions, it's all good.
Well, it'll be a trivia for everybody. It'll be a game. So it'll be for everybody, including the chat. So let's test your Zelda knowledge. I feel that we could do that, later. Not right away. Not next week, but sooner.
Okay.
Soon.
All right. Go ahead and do a test question right now to see if I can answer it.
What? No. Yeah, we're gonna definitely put to the test everything that you are learning from Zelda.
I'm not really learning a lot, just to be honest. I'm just having fun. But now
it's how it should be.
Now I'll start learning.
Well, it's more like at least you're gonna be able to understand a lot of the conversations that go on, and you don't have to go in very deep into the lore.
Yeah,
the basic stuff. At least you're the conversation.
And to be honest, I actually know the basic stuff. These three people who created the Triforce, they were goddess, and then
kind of important.
Right? Yeah, the three little magical little elves in the sky that created the Triforce, and then one of them, Goddess Hylia is Princess Zelda, being kind of reincarnated or possessed or
Yeah, reincarnated, not possessed.
Link is not the Link in every game. It's always a new Link and a new Zelda because they kind of their spirit. People, I call it reincarnation because they're cursed. They're cursed. They were cursed back in Skyward Sword. See, I know that much. You see, so yeah. I learn and I listen to what you guys say and I keep it and it's great in here.
Doing great.
Yeah. I have a photographic memory for what things that I'm interested in. For everything else, I completely forget and I don't. But with that, guys, you guys have been amazing. I appreciate you all more than you know. Stay tuned and make sure to subscribe to every single channel that we are on here. I finally made to 1,000. I finally made to 1,000 followers on Twitter. Really.
Yay! Congrats!
Yay! Finally 1,000 followers.
Yay!
Anyway, but yeah, guys, you have the most wonderful weekend ever. I will see you here in the next episode, the next adventure here at the Odyssey. But before we let you go, we got 2 things we got to let you know.
Pikachu? Beep Pikachu.
Wait, that's not it.
Oh, we're doing Pokemon. I call Snorlax.
This is not okay, this is not it.
Oh no. Here we go again, as usual.
All right. Before we let you go, we got 2 things we got to let you know. Number 1, never give up. Never give up.
Do it.
Do it. And number 2, journey on.
Journey on.
And number 3, just dance. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Have a great night, great weekend. Take care.
Bye.
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 Get away from the drinks and chatter. Haven't said a word, but it doesn't matter.
We got to get your mug.
Standing in a blurry dream. No one else can.